Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm doing a budget bourbon battle between Jim Beam White Label and Evan Williams Black Label. Alright, so both these bottles are budget bourbons. I wouldn't quite call them bottom shelf. If anything, they might be second shelf, edging closer to that mid shelf. But Jim Beam White Label comes in at 80 proof, and it'll set you back somewhere in that $15 to $20 price range. It comes in at 4 years old, and Jim Beam says established 1795, and is the largest bourbon brand selling in the world. So I'm not going to do this blind. I'm going to get these guys poured. Evan Williams comes in at 86 proof, so it's a little bit higher proof. It is a little bit extra aged also. 20 years ago, this had a 7-year age statement on it, but they've dropped that. So there's going to be 4 to 6 year old barrels going into this. I believe Evan Williams is actually the second largest brand selling bourbon in the world. So very interesting matchup. Evan Williams says since 1783, that's when the historical figure Evan Williams actually started distilling bourbon in Kentucky, and they claim that he was Kentucky's first distiller. So pretty interesting. In the bourbon industry out there, you probably hear the number 1792 a lot, like the Bourbon 1792, small batch and whatnot. 1792 is actually the year that Kentucky became a state. So Evan Williams being 1783, that's 9 years before statehood, and Jim Beam being 1795, that's 3 years after statehood. So Kentucky became a state right in between when these bourbons were started over 200 years ago. So, all right, like I say, I'm not going to do these blind, but let me give them a nose. All right, on the Jim Beam. Jim Beam, I'm getting some vanilla and some corn flavored bourbon on that. On the Evan Williams, I'd say less vanilla and more a little bit of a tiny bit of oak on this one. So a little bit of darker nose on that for the Jim Beam. Jim Beam's more of a lighter nose. So color-wise, they look very similar. Proof's a little different, 80 versus 86, but let's go ahead and give them a taste. Cheers. Very nice sip on the Jim Beam. It has a little bit of spiciness on there. It's not hot. It's it has a little oak on there. Definitely. Tad bit of dryingness on that oak, but not much. There's some sweetness there. It's not real depth of sweetness. It's probably just that corn whiskey really. So, like when I say not a depth of sweetness, it's not like a molasses or brown sugar or anything like that. So, yeah, a nice sip. Get the Williams sip. Cheers. Doesn't seem as spicy as a Jim Beam, actually. Although as I'm talking, the spice is coming a little later, so it's more of a delayed spice. Wasn't as sweet either, though. Did have a little oak on there. The oak seemed a little older. More of the rickhouse type of oak. Yeah, even though that spice started to come late, it didn't linger. There wasn't much of a finish. I'll go back and taste one again real quick. Not much finish on either one. I think the mash bills are very similar. They're both 12 to 13% rye, so the same rye level, basically 70-something% corn. Tough call on the nose to pick a winner here. Jim Beam is definitely a sweeter nose. Yeah, Evan Williams is a little bit of a deeper nose, so I'm going to go with the Evan Williams on the nose. One more quick taste. Yeah, that rye is less pronounced now that I've had a round of these already, but it's still there. Sweetness isn't there as much either, though. I really wish I got some vanilla or a little bit more sweetness on that taste. Go with this nose. That'd make that much more enjoyable. But yeah, the spice, what little spice is here is lingering a little bit. So this one does have a little bit of a finish going with it. So let me give the Evan Williams a final taste. Definitely this spicier than the Jim Beam this go around. The spice, it didn't hit immediately. It did take a second to get there, but it's here right now. But it's definitely a peppery spice. Not expecting it to last too long, but it's already fading now. But there are definitely different flavors going on here. But I think for my flavor profile, I'm going to pick the Evan Williams also on the flavor. So on the spiciness, the older oak taste on that. So for this budget battle, and like I say, this is a series I'm going to start doing. I had realized recently that I really hadn't reviewed some of the entry level bourbons. Like Jim Beam White Label. I jumped right to some more expensive, higher proof stuff and all that. So I wanted to go back and start doing some that I don't think I had done before. That's where this budget battle series is going to come along. So for this budget battle, Evan Williams wins, knocks out the Jim Beam White Label. Yeah, definitely a nose and a flavor profile that agrees with me. So classic bourbon at a great price. All right, everybody, I hope you liked what you saw here. Hit that like button. Leave some comments down below if you like one of these or the other, if these are your everyday sippers or not. And hit that subscribe button. Really helps the channel. Appreciate it. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. The best bourbon comes from Kentucky. Cheers.
Turkey.